Hey guys, welcome back. Based on feedback from last week's video, I have adjusted some of my audio settings. So let me know what you think. For those of you who really liked the background noises, unfortunately my power supply fan just today has started making a really obnoxious oscillating sound, so I won't be able to go back strictly to the way that it was, because I don't think it would be very relaxing. Before we really get into talking about Harlequins, I just want to, I want to say something about the state of the world right now, particularly the state of the United States. My part of the country has just re-entered a closing down. And it's not fun, to say the least. So, if anybody from anywhere, but I know my country is being affected by this particularly. If you need or want anything, let me know. You can email me, you can leave a comment. If there's a way to send direct messages over YouTube, you can do that too. But that's enough of that. Let's talk about the reason why you guys are here. Harlequins. Weapons of the lethal art. The Harlequins wield an impressive array of elegant and remarkably deadly weaponry. Shuriken weapons spit streams of monomolecular discs that slice their targets apart. Psychocrystalline neurodisruptors burn away the nervous systems of their victims, while haywire blasters do the same to mechanical systems. Perfectly balanced power swords and zephyr glaives slice through armor as though it were silk. Arguably the most iconic weapon that the Masks carry to war, the Harlequin's kiss is horrifically lethal. A sharpened tube attached to the forearm of the bearer, the kiss can be punched through an enemy's armor and flesh. High-tensile monofilament wire contained within the weapon then uncoils, reducing the target's insides to a gory soup within the space of a single heartbeat. The Harlequins Embrace is a wrist-mounted weapon which boasts similar technology to that found in the death spinners carried by warp spider aspect warriors. They are triggered a second before the wearer charges into close combat, and project a cloud of monofilament wire that quickly contracts around the foe, slicing them to bloody chunks in mere seconds. The Harlequin's caress encases the user's hand in a phase field that allows them to reach through their foe's armor and pluck out their heart as easily as though he were running his fingers through thin air. Many wielders feign fighting unarmed, leading their enemies to overcommit to an offensive, and allowing the Harlequin to gracefully dispatch them with an impaling riposte. The Shuriken Cannon fires monomolecular bladed discs at an astonishing rate, each projectile near invisible to the naked eye, but hard enough to scythe through flesh and metal with ease. Harlequins use these punishing weapons to support their shock assaults, wailing streams of fire ripping through the foe as the players dash forward. The Prismatic Cannon uses multiple laser arrays set around a fashioned shard of psycho-crystal to project a searing beam of energy into the foe. The weapon's apertures can be adjusted in order to focus or broaden its destructive might at will. Crackling blasts of electromagnetic energy leap from the forked projector vanes of the haywire cannon with every shot. Capable of scrambling even the most robust electrical systems, a single hit from such a weapon can leave enemy tanks and aircraft powerless and at the mercy of the Harlequin's wrath. The Dreadalil, or Star Bolus, mounts 3 weighted plasma charges at the end of mesh weave cords. These charges arm when the bolus is spun with sufficient vigor. The weapon is designed to be hurled in a scything arc, tangling about its target before its plasma charges explode with the fury of a dying sun. The Flip Belt is a wonder of Eldari technology, a portable anti-grav generator keyed to trigger upon the mental command of its wearer. So incredibly lightweight are flip belts that, far from hampering their wearer's natural agility, they instead heighten it to the point that Harlequins can leap clean over all but the most towering obstacles, bounding through rubble and wreckage with supernatural ease. Shuriken Pistols are light, compact sidearms much favored by Harlequins. The slender, graceful lines of these weapons mislead many foes, who discover their deadly stopping power only as a flurry of razor-edged shuriken rip through their flesh. The reliability and featherweight construction of the Shuriken pistol means that most Harlequins bear them into battle, the player's acrobatic combat style perfectly complemented by the firearms they wield. Fusion pistols cause the molecules of the target to hypervibrate, generating so much heat that their victims burst into flames before suddenly liquefying and then evaporating into nothingness. Though incredibly short range, the sheer destructive potential of these weapons ensure that they see common usage amongst the masks of the Harlequins. They are best employed annihilating heavily armored foes, or even enemy vehicles, from point-blank range. Neurodisruptors are elegant, psychocrystalline weapons that fire beams of energy capable of burning away nervous tissue in an agonizing instant. Armor offers no protection from these weapons, for it is simply bypassed altogether. Indeed, foes hit by a Neurodisruptor show no outward sign of injury, excepting their sudden, violent convulsions as they tumble to the floor. The Harlequins describe this ghastly effect as I Ethieg Narth, literally translating as the cutting of the strings. Each Zephyr glaive is perfectly weighted, individually balanced to its wielder, and enfolded in a molecular dissonance field. This renders it a lethal weapon of high-velocity aerial murder. Swung from the backs of Skyweaver jet bikes as they streak through the enemy ranks, these blades send heads and limbs spinning through the air in bloody arcs. Harlequin power swords are named after weapons from Eldari myth. Many bear titles taken from the blades forged by the smith god Val to appease Cain and secure the release of his prisoners, the deities Kurnos and Isha, while others may be named for the blades of the House of Eldanesh, one of Cain's many godly weapons, or the many stolen swords of the laughing god himself. Harlequin Masks. Every Harlequin wears a mask that conceals their true identity, while evoking the features of the mythic character whose role they play. Yet these strange devices are far more than mere theatrical accoutrements. When upon the stage, a Harlequin's mask can change its features by the moment, displaying shifting patterns, colors, and features to aid their performance. In battle, it is said that those who look into the mask of a Harlequin see their worst fears reflected back at them. An inescapable psycho-responsive bombardment that distracts and terrifies in equal measure. Some players within a mask may have stranger masks still, such as the ghoulish skull visage of the Death Jester, or the sanity-distorting mirror mask of the Shadow Seer. Harlequins are able to move across the galaxy by traversing the Webway, the quasi-dimensional creation of the race known as the Old Ones. Via the Webway, these ancient beings could appear from hidden gateways in reality to strike at their foes without warning. Furthermore, this network allowed the Old Ones to voyage between the worlds of their dominion without risking the fickle tides of the warp. Since the destruction of the Old Ones countless millennia ago, the Webway has been the domain of the Eldari. And though other races have made attempts to invade its tunnels, their successes are never lasting and the costs are always high. Known by some as the Labyrinth Dimension, the Webway has been envisioned by mortal minds in myriad ways. Some describe it as a galactic tapestry of shimmering strands. Others a maze of glowing tunnels, or the veins of some vast living entity. All such accounts fall short of the truth, for the Webway defies neat categorization. It is an elegantly crafted realm located between real space and the warp, analogous to the surface of a still, dark pool, or a fine silk veil drawn across something indescribably foul. The Webway once spanned the galaxy, even stretching out into the empty void beyond. Those days are long gone. Ravaged by war and catastrophe, many of its tunnels have been torn open or amputated entirely, and a great number of its entrances have been sealed by the Eldari themselves as a desperate measure to deny their foes access. Despite its degradation, the Eldari still rely upon the Webway for swift travel, and none more so than the nomadic Harlequins. It is said that Kegarach is the only being in existence who knows every single path through the Webway. This might explain how his disciples possess such an intimate knowledge of its twists and turns, for the Harlequins walk the Webway without fear, appearing and disappearing at will. So well versed are they in the Webway's secret routes that many other Eldari have credited the servants of the Laughing God with supernatural powers. The Harlequins utilize their knowledge of the Webway's hidden paths to outmaneuver their foes and strike from unexpected quarters. In this way, entire masks of Harlequins can position themselves in ambush, guaranteeing the element of surprise. Of course, such a system is not perfect, for the Webway has become a broken and dangerous realm. The manifestation of the Great Rift tore at the Webway, ripping away spars already weakened by the passage of millennia and unraveling others, laying them open to the warp. Gates long sealed burst open to admit a legion of nightmares, and malefic chaos worshippers found themselves at liberty to strike at the Labyrinth Dimension like never before. Terribly sorry about that, I just bumped my mic stand. The Black Library. Deep within the Webway, protected by terrifying sentinels and troops of Harlequins, lies the Black Library. To reach this fabled realm, one must court madness itself, traveling secret passages through the Webway, evading the gaze of the horrifying entities that stand guard, and unlocking one of the library's cunningly hidden entrances amid veils of riddle and illusion. The Black Library houses all of the Eldari's most precious knowledge. It is said to resemble a vast, impossible craft world that exists only within the Labyrinth Dimension. There is lore here regarding every deadly galactic mystery the Eldari have ever encountered. The true nature of the ancient star gods, the fate of the forsaken Phoenix Lord Ara, even the origins of chaos itself are but the merest fragments of the Black Library's archives of the forbidden and the forgotten. In particular, the library's collection focuses upon all that the Eldari know of chaos. Within the psychically locked rooms of the seething spirit spiral, lie grimoires of dark magic, their whispers and snarls shivering the air despite layers of runic wards. Beneath the dome of stars extinguished, innumerable caskets of moonthorn imprison demonic artifacts and essences. Glowing lights drift through chambers in which ancient blades and alien skulls rest upon rune-carved plinths. Perhaps most valuable of all, the library's many treasures, is the collected psychic lore of the Eldari and the countless species they have encountered. Captured in the crystalline thoughts of the library's long-dead inhabitants, these spectral secrets drive upon the wind like half-formed memories, waiting for a mind strong enough to snare them. On and on the dark corridors wind, a maze of starlit chambers and shadow-drowned oubliettes beyond count. Few mortals indeed have seen the inside of this sinister realm, and none would be foolish enough to speak of it. Once someone has witnessed the true nature of the Black Library's sentinels, the fear of their vengeance lingers. This is not to say that the Black Library remains sacrosanct. It has been assailed many times by those who sought to plunder its secrets. Imperial Inquisitors, arrogant Drukhari Archons, and inquisitive Necron Lords have all tried and failed to invade the library, driven off by the swift and deadly strikes of the Harlequins. Yet it is the minions of chaos who must be battled most often. Hosts of demons have tried more than once to plunder the Black Library, while in the waning years of the 41st millennium, the notorious sorcerer Ahriman successfully penetrated its defenses, stealing precious lore for his own dark and nefarious purposes. The final act. Since the fall, a crystal dome has rested upon an obstinate plinth at the heart of the Black Library, its covers bound shut by chains of light. As fabled events came to pass, so those chains faded one by one, until, shortly before the opening of the Great Rift, the dome fell open at last. Within were revealed writings said to have come from Gegarach's own hand. Inspiring and terrifying in equal measure, they revealed a final act that changed utterly the tale of the fall. Those words presented a slender hope and began a galactic performance that the Harlequins strive to see fulfilled. Always the strands of fate had warned that chaos would be victorious during the Rana Dandra, the fabled great battle at the galaxy's ending. Yet the final act promised a new path, Gegarach's ultimate jest that would trick Slaanesh into expending all her energies, not to destroy the Eldari, but to save them. How such a thing could come to pass remains unclear, but the Harlequins are devoted servants of their god, and they will see the final act performed, no matter the cost. Gods of the Eldari. The Laughing God was the only Eldari deity to survive the birth of Slaanesh. Yet the teachings and tales of his slain fellows are preserved through the dances of the Harlequins and the traditions of the craft worlds and Exodites. The Eldari are a people who see symbolism in all things, and they keep their slain gods and heroes close, lest they forget their teachings and fall again into indolence and madness. For each deity, the Harlequins know hundreds of stories and dances, each encompassing some adventurous exploit, internecine conflict, or lesson imparted. From Asurian, Phoenix King, eldest of all the gods, come tales of wisdom and patience, firm rule and nobility at all costs. His warlike brother, the bloody-handed god Kayla Mensha Kane, features in stories of murder and warfare, adopting the roles of righteous destroyer and vengeful oppressor with equal ease. Vol, the crippled smith, Isha, goddess of the harvest and mother of all, Liliath the maiden, and the crone Morai Haig, all feature in their own tales and in stories that depict their complex interactions and the allegorical messages they impart. Since the breaking of Craftworld Beeltan, a new god stirs within the consciousness of the Eldari. Yniad, the god of the dead, was brought close to waking by the actions of the visionary farseer Eldrad Ulthron. Now his followers spread through Eldari society, promising another way to escape the grasp of Slaanesh and defeat the forces of chaos. The Harlequins played their part in that tale, and already the dances of some masks are subtly shifting to incorporate ghosts of Yniad's presence. Yet what Kegarach makes of Yniad's rise, and how his servants will mesh or clash with the Ynnari in the centuries to come, remains to be seen. And I think that is where we are going to pause our video today. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you guys are all hanging in there. This is tough, and it has been tough for pretty much everybody. So, remember to find peace where you can. Take time for yourself. And just try to go easy on yourself, because I think handling a pandemic well would be pretty much impossible without taking a lot of time for yourself. Whether that means listening to ASMR, which probably, if you're going to try to relax, the graphic descriptions from Warhammer is probably not the best way. Or whether that means reading, or playing a video game, or spending time with someone, or anything like that. Take some time for yourself every day if you can. Because need to do that. So, I'm going to get off my soapbox, stop pontificating, and I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.